Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Madison and I make a variety of art-related videos. So today I'll be showing you guys 3 different methods to sketch a face. So first of all, here is what you'll need for the sketches. So the first thing I use whenever I sketch portraits is an HB mechanical pencil. This is the main pencil that I use for outlining my drawings. The next thing I use is a 2H pencil. I use this for getting all of the general shapes in my drawings. And lastly, an eraser in case I make any mistakes. So the first method, and my personal favorite, is the grid method. If you plan on using this method, you will need a grid. Whatever size of squares you want depends on you. My personal favorite is to have each square be a 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch, and the grid is 16 by 20 squares. To start off this sketch, I am using my 2H pencil, and I am simply doing a rough sketch of where everything on the reference photo is. There are many different ways that you can put a grid onto your reference photo, but my favorite is using an app called Grid to put a grid of whatever size I want onto my photo. So I'm just lightly sketching in where the eyes, nose, lips are, and as you can see, the sketch is not perfect. When using a grid, especially one with such small squares, it could be confusing on which square you are drawing on. That is why I recommend doing a light sketch before you use a darker pencil. So now I am using my HB pencil and I am just adding all the details in the face and just darkening the sketch that I had before. So now that I'm done the sketch on the piece of grid paper, I can now use a light box to sketch my drawing onto my Bristol paper. If you don't have a light box, you can easily use a window or a computer monitor. You can also sketch the grid directly onto the piece of paper that you plan to use. The only problem with this is that you may have trouble erasing the grid and it might show through the drawing. This method of sketching is my favorite because the sketch usually ends up looking the cleanest and is the easiest to color in. So here's the final piece. The second way to sketch is freehanding. This is by far the most difficult method. To start off, I use my 2H pencil and divide the paper into halves. This helps me properly center the drawing. Next, I lightly sketch shapes for all of the important facial features such as the eyes, nose, and the mouth. Then I use my HB pencil and I start to add in the details. I'm trying not to press too hard because there will still be a lot of changes made to all the details. If you are planning on using this method of sketching, I suggest taking several breaks from the sketch and look over it at different times to make sure that you think all of the facial features are in the right place. After leaving the drawing for about 15 minutes, I can realize some mistakes such as the eyebrows, the hairline, and the neck. Once you are finished sketching, you can choose to use a light box to clean up the sketch or just erase around it. I chose to leave it how it is. The final method of sketching faces is by tracing. Personally, I don't use this method since I see it more as a practice exercise, but if you want to work on your proportions, you can try this method too. So basically what I'm doing is I printed out my reference photo and I'm just going over all of the prominent features using a light box. Another reason I don't really recommend this method is because if your reference photo happens to be very dark, such as this one, it can be hard to find the important features and the sketch often ends up looking very messy and rough. So I am nearly done the sketch, and as you can see, it did come out pretty messy, but if you want to practice proportions, then this is a good method to try. So here are the 3 final sketches. Based on this video, you can decide which method that you would want to use, or if you have your own method, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and next week I'm going to have a video about how to color skin. If you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment below about any other tutorials you'd like to see.